What's going on? I'm here at the Ryini Beats headquarters, and what we're doing today is I am gonna go hop in the hot tub. We're gonna go meet Maverick over here, and what I want to do is talk about two really important things that separate any artist that gets results is gonna have to do two things. They're gonna have to be able to compete. It could be in a collaborative way, but they're gonna have to compete and defeat 100 talented artists. And what is that gonna take? What does that process look like? Like how do you get in that position? By accomplishing step one, which is where most artists fail, is putting yourself in a situation where you can actually be qualified to compete. Because most artists, and what I consider being able to compete is waking up, having plenty of hours to dedicate to practicing your craft. You're learning every day, you're recording, you're literally treating yourself like an athlete, right? Like a Division I college professional athlete that trains 4 to 6 hours a day, and then beyond that studies the sport and lives a healthy lifestyle. How do you get into that position? Even if you're maybe working a lot, maybe you have the time, maybe there is a way. And I know there is a way in almost any situation. If you start to pull back small sections and increments of your time, start to buy back your time. So that's what we're gonna talk about here today. So yeah, that is the plan. I'm literally gonna take you guys on a quick tour. So this is Maverick right here. He's about to follow us outside. He's a really cool dude. If you ever come out here in person, you'll get to meet him, hopefully. If you make it out in before he passes or before I told you he'd come out. So yeah, this is the studio headquarters. This is the trampoline right here. So we're about to hop in the hot tub over there, but first I'm gonna take you guys into the back room. I'm gonna grab a towel back here. So this is the guest house, essentially. There we go. It's slippery in here. Yeah, be careful when it's wet. Whoa. Yeah, that's wild. The lighting's sick right there. I think you caught me at a good point. Got my eyes. Okay, cool. So we got a laundry over here. Give you guys a quick tour. Basically, if you come visit, this is the guest house over here. You got your own private bathroom. You guys have your own studio, queen size bed, super brand new comfortable. We wash it after each person comes. Chill area, you got your own kitchen. Yeah, super cool area over here. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab a towel real quick. But yeah, today we're talking about some important topics that if you slack off and you don't get the knowledge to break through in regards, especially to understanding the importance. And this is really about you. This is about your life. This is about your health. This is about, creating a situation where you even have the possibility to live a healthy life. And I'm talking about this not from the perspective of Mr. Perfection, rather from the perspective of someone who has struggled with this and who has overcome that, which was the greatest impact of my success in accomplishing moving to this location solely through music, has been that ability, which I will describe to you when I put this phone down over here. So we are in the hot tub. Whew. The ability to create the lifestyle, the ability to compete. If you knew me, let's say 10 years ago, I was quite confident, but even the little things of life would give me a ton of anxiety. If I knew that, let's say today I wake up and I have to call someone to like get insurance or to contact a bank or to just simply have to call somebody, I would just being able to overcome little things like that would make me feel accomplished in my day. And it's crazy now where I would literally be depressed even having a day that was 10 times more action-packed and fulfilling than that. But in those type of situations, how do you create that situation? And it's first, all of this comes back to, which is why I'm in this hot tub today, why this is even, it should be appropriate to everybody to come and take off your shirt and hop into a hot tub. Like, that's what we do here. So, if you roll up, you're welcome and invited to come in here and use it. In fact, people say this is the best hot tub in the world, I've heard. I'm not going to turn on the jets. I want you to be able to hear me today. Just would love for you to enjoy this experience. I know you've done it. And honestly, not because of what you accomplish, but because of the progress and the excitement you feel from having that progress. Because truth be told, and when I looked at this place, the first time I came here, there was like 3 or 4 kids running around. There was another family that was looking at this. I was like, I want this freaking property. Like, I can bring artists over here. We can shoot music videos. We can shoot content. There's a guest house for them. Oh my God. Like, I need this thing. And I was so excited, like these amazing, super crazy palm trees. And they're awesome. You know, I've been able to blow up on TikTok primarily through the content, and as well as the artist when I was messing around there for a while, using good locations. And look, I mean, everybody has nature outside, you know, and what we find is that does perform better. Whoa. You ever heard that maybe there's some truth to it? Those birds kind of distracted me right there. So some people have said that birds are some humans' biggest fear. Like, it's an actual thing. But creating that situation and going from kind of a social reject, if you will, in a way, from, I guess, going back to middle school, high school, not fitting in, being just socially different, right? I mean, I'm in a situation or location, Los Angeles, San Fernando growing up, where, you know, I'm the minority in a way, right? Because there's a lot of Hispanics over here. Love the Hispanics. Had some great time. I don't want to go too far in depth with that. But going through all of that and being different, and then having to step into creating a lifestyle for yourself from actually being somewhat of a degenerate, smoking, drinking, being around those types of people, which the music business invites you. So they put you into the situation where there's all these distracting musicians, there's all this food and toxicity and chemicals and alcohol and all of these things that essentially are part of the culture that ultimately destroy you. And that's essentially the game that you're playing, also in a way that you're looking at who's getting success, but it's all fake. How do you know who earned it versus who bought it? And I think one of the ways that you could know theoretically is a lot of the artists that have just searched the type of beats and they see that I pop up, you could be like, wow, well, that guy actually grew organically because I searched and I found him without it being an ad. But nowadays, with people looking up to artist influencers that have 100,000, a million followers that have 100, 200 comments on their posts, reels, and thousands of likes. 99%, or at least most people, I don't think would be realistic enough. They would think it would be too cynical to believe that most of those artists, or many of those artists, especially the ones that I happen to come across, are in fact fake, which I would know the difference. So essentially, this is where you are placed, and the world is saying, okay, you want to be an artist, find your way out of that. It's essentially like, I'm in the water. It kind of reminds me of being placed underwater, right? With like the handcuffs and you're wrapped around like the thing like this. and you have no idea how to get out of it. Like you have to figure it out on the spot. There's no training. Essentially, it's probably impossible to figure all of that out on the spot. So how does that happen? How do you get out of that situation? Let me know below. How have you maybe gotten at least better in terms of treating yourself right, eating well, sleeping well, and creating the lifestyle, again, where you can compete with 100 other artists? And what I am saying here is that essentially you're not an artist if you are not dedicating. There, I said it. If you are not dedicating and treating yourself, you could sabotage yourself and still be an artist, but you have to be putting in work. I believe, and it's my belief, and the artists that I work with, I encourage them to optimize instead of destroy, and use that destruction to capture attention and influence the world negatively. I think the world it's hard to say that someone's going to influence the world negatively by doing drugs. It could be argued that people are going to learn through them to not do that. So I have no moral judgment on really anybody's art. In fact, it's the opposite. People judge my art strongly. But that's another story. You'll deal with that too when you start, whenever you decide to use my viral strategy. I'll have a link below, and you just join it and you'll start to get millions of views. If you do it, it works. At least at the time I'm saying this, it works. Everybody that does it, it works. It's just what we realize is that a lot of people don't want to do it. And it goes back to what we're talking about here today, honestly, which is why I'm creating this video, because they don't want to do it, because these two things. They don't understand the concept of competing with 100 talented people that are dedicated enough. And I'm excited to tell you a little story about that. And they don't understand the importance of putting yourself in a situation where you would even be nominated to go and compete with 100 people, right? Like, why do you even qualify for that? You wake up and you rapped a few songs. That doesn't put you at that level. So for me, this video, when you really look and absorb what you're getting out of this, is how to become 1,000 times better, how to outcompete 1,000 people. Because 1 in 1,000 people, in my estimation, especially artists who's highly sabotage themselves, are going to accomplish the first thing that I'm talking about here, which is creating a lifestyle where they can even compete, where they're actually making music for hours per day. They're dedicating a large section strategically and working towards the most important aspects. And they're not wrong about what the most important aspects are. That's an important part about it. Which is why it's important to learn and have mentors and guides, and which is why I like to offer opportunities for artists to come out here and sit with me and to network. Because I can sit with you online for a few hours. We can do a few meetings. I can help you set up your business. I can personally by the way. Look at your content and find some stuff that you are comfortable doing and really get to discuss, because those are the problems that hold back artists, and the reason they don't follow our viral plan is because, like, I don't want to do that. They think that you have to go further than you have to go in terms of controversy. It doesn't have to be that. There are other emotions and there are other factors to performance videos that do well. But going through this and to now having about 10 people working for me, about 10 employees and I had to get rid of a few a while ago, just because, you know, I don't want to get too far into that whole thing. But how do you get into that situation where your schedule can be so jam-packed and you're saying, okay, I'm going to get a full song done? I mean, realistically, there should be no reason that an artist cannot get multiple songs done per week and really go through the melodies and have time to try out different timing patterns, different melodies, different harmonies, different note structures, and still get multiple done per week and still schedule time to practice, warm up, learn new licks and skills and recording techniques, and spend 30 minutes a week on Tuesday, Thursday learning marketing, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday learning production and mixing. Even if you only have, let's say, you're working full-time, you have a girlfriend, you also need to work out, you can still squeeze a few hours in there to figure that in, puzzle that in. It is important, right? Is it? I don't know. I think if you're watching this video, it's probably important. I would think so, huh? So that's the first thing. If you want to get to the point where the coach is going to metaphorically put you on that field, where the algorithm, whether that be YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, whatever, you start to get thrusted out there, the coach doesn't want to put you on the field because he doesn't want to make you to make a fool of yourself or to get overwhelmed. A lot of artists, about half of the artists, I see this all the time. They go in and they have their big moment, but they weren't ready enough. They didn't need to be too ready, but they just got overwhelmed way too easily because it wasn't that much. But for them, like, remember I was telling you earlier about myself, like, I could barely do one call a day to some number. Like, it took 5 minutes, it was nothing. And that would make me nervous thinking about waking up, oh, I have to do this today, and then I have to, like, do one more thing. I can't believe I got through college, and I mean, I started growing. That was the start of where I was growing. That's where high school got me. So what do? You do exactly what I just said. The schedule, for me, I ran into someone called Sam Ovens, who, when I started geeking out about the importance of optimization, I found he was essentially some guy who, in a way, treated and ran his life almost robotically, but to such a highly successful extent, business-wise and health-wise, that inspired me to do a couple things. One, and the same thing with this year, and which is why it was this year's New Year's resolution, which I've only fallen off on a couple of days. I've been good and I'm getting back on it. I've basically followed it. I'm gonna give myself an A. If we're judging on out of 100%, I'm still at an A in terms of the resolution, which every day was to get up at 6 a.m. and to schedule at least the important things that need to get done. And wow, through that, you're gonna double. I mean, I double because I'm already effective, but the first time you do this, you can start to move about 10 times faster through your life by getting up early, tackling the day, treating yourself like an athlete, obviously eating well. Everybody's different. I recommend good protein, not too much carbs. Try not to drink and sabotage yourself with too much soda, junk food, processed stuff, obviously all the good stuff. Work out hard. Challenge yourself. Cardio and strength is important. And you'll start to feel so much different. I know when I started doing that, I started feeling so much different. Just to lay, it's like when you lay in bed at night and just feel so proud of yourself, and you feel the breathing just so smooth and effortless. Now, once you do that, you've probably less than 1 in 100 people. So theoretically, you might be getting to 1 in a million if you can do these two things, which honestly, they're the two things that'll make you feel alive. You're gonna have to go fight your demons though, because when you start cleaning up your mind, you start doing this stuff, you start getting positive momentum, you're gonna want to sabotage it through self-hate and almost by justifying that you don't deserve it because of some of the things that you've done, that society has told you that you're a bad boy, naughty, and you're now sabotaging yourself because of that. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I would love to work with you, to be here for you, to answer any questions that you have. So please, if you ever get an email from me, a text, I know a lot of the people that are watching this may have already used my beats, already been in touch. Make sure you're reaching out. We'd love to work with you on anything from the music to post-production. Once you do this, you're going to get into a very, very high percentile. And now is where you got to be consistent. You can't sabotage yourself. This is the important part. Now, here, you're at a level where you have to now compete with 100 people that are committed. They are getting up every day. They have a coach, a trainer, someone motivating them. They have their own teams. And now you're one of these 100 people. And in fact, that there's probably hundreds of thousands of people total. I mean, there's millions of people that are not, hundreds of millions of people that want to do music, but they don't believe in themselves enough. They have no confidence because of they haven't done these things that I'm talking about, which is treat yourself like a professional athlete, a professional musician, Olympian, what have you. What do? Eat well, train well, for at least 4 to 6 hours per day, physically active and then mentally into what it is that they do. 99 point something percent of people obviously don't get to that level in music. Now, who can get to that level and then stay at that level? Not for something, but just because. Just because. No result, no guarantee. You just do it to show the world what it's all about. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. And you won't give up when that's your motivation. To make the world a better place. Is this thing still going? Yeah, it's getting a little darker over here. Boom. Okay. Looks like my phone's probably gonna pass out soon. Try to tell a quick story before we go today. When this whole video started, when I was in college, I just thought about it. I had to compete with 48 different colleges in diving. So go up on a high springboard and you do multiple flips and you have to, enter without hitting the board. Kid did hit the board in that competition, bashed the back of his head, had to go get stitches. It's a very dangerous sport. I know people that have died that are no longer with me that I used to train with in this sport. People that have got paralyzed, later passed away. And I was competing with 100 other divers in the state of California. Day one, my coach told me what I would have to do, and it blew me away. He told me early, and that's what I want to do for you, is make you aware of everything early so you can actually realize that the game is harder than you think, and you have to get in there and start working. So I had to do 2.5 flips in every direction on the low board, and possibly 3.5 on the higher one, and then 4.5 in the front direction, plus with like double twisters, all the hard stuff. And competition after competition. I remember showing up to the state finals, right? You have to qualify the best 16 on each side. Northern California, Southern California.